Your meditation practice could be causing dissociation. But meditation can also cure dissociation. Now, if that sounds a little bit confusing, it's because it is confusing. Yes, there is a bizarre link between meditation and dissociation, and in this video, I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know. So if that sounds good to you, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. Yes, meditation could cause dissociation. Dissociation is the feeling of being detached or very distant to your thoughts, your feelings, or also it could be a sense of distance from the environment or your body. In fact, dissociation can be to dissociate from any of those core components that give us a sense of who and where we are. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, environment, and body. So why can meditation cause dissociation? Well, meditation can cause dissociation because when we meditate, we train the mind to sort of detach from all those things, from anything that distracts us from sensory information and from thoughts and feelings. Think about what happens when you do your quintessential mindful breathing or anapanasati vipassana style of practice. You're sitting there with your eyes closed, focusing on your breath. Inevitably, some thoughts and feelings, as well as stimuli from the outside world, distract your mind momentarily. You respond to that by saying, that's just a thought or just a feeling. Just let that go and return to the breath, and so on. And so, in that style of meditation, that anapanasati vipassana style of meditation, we're continually sort of devaluing anything that's distracting us in order to train the mind to say, hey, just let all that stuff go and just focus on breathing. By the way, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I'll explain why a little later. But when you're doing that style of meditation, you are inevitably dissociating from your thoughts, your feelings, and so on, and hence no surprise that it can cause dissociation. Now, traditionally, monks and other people who meditate would dissociate from one thing in order to then associate with something else. So for instance, let's say a monk were to do anapanasati for a long time and completely empty their mind. What they're doing is emptying their mind of any impurities, things such as ignorances, hatred, anger, all those other negative qualities of mind and emotions that we all tend to experience from time to time. So they're emptying their mind of all those impurities, but then they refill their mind with purities. Buddhist monks, for an example, would empty the mind and then refill it with things like compassion, metta, Buddhist Dharma, and pure awareness of the body and of the surroundings. So there's this sense of emptying and refilling the mind. It is like a jug. There's this famous saying that goes, the purpose of the jug is that it is empty. An empty jug we can then choose to fill with whatever we like. And so we empty the jug, we empty the mind being the jug, empty the jug of any impurities, so that we can then refill the mind, refill the jug with positive things such as compassion, love, and spiritual teachings, and so on. And so traditionally, how meditation was originally taught and how meditation is intended to be done is to empty the mind, dissociate, in order to then refill the mind, associate with positive things. We empty the mind of those impurities to fill it with something that's good. Wonderful. Because then you dissociate, but then reassociate with things that are better. Wonderful. Unfortunately, that wisdom was not passed on to most people who meditate in the West. And by the way, I myself have made this mistake. Most people in the West get the idea that meditation is just mindful breathing or guided meditations. If you ask a lot of people, possibly even yourself, what meditation is, well, it's mindful breathing, right? That's what we consider meditation to be. And so that's what we do here in the West. We just meditate on the breath. We just empty the mind over and over and over and over again. Like we're taking the jug and emptying their impurities. But at no point are we then refilling the jug, because most people just stop after doing mindful breathing. So, of course, what I'm alluding to here is the fact that, yes, you should dissociate from your impurities, but then you've got to refill the jug. Empty your mind, empty the jug of impurities, and then refill it. And you do that by doing different meditation techniques. So, take your practice that you do at the moment. If it is just mindful breathing, just take that, and we're going to redefine your meditation practice in a way that empties your mind of impurities, but then refills it with all the good stuff so that you dissociate, but then reassociate. Now, here is how. Start with your mindful breathing to empty your mind, because the purpose of the jug is that it is empty, but then refill it. And I'm going to recommend that, having emptied your mind with mindful breathing, you then do the following techniques. Firstly, do some form of meditation that is based on compassion. That could be a traditional metta or karuna, Tonglen and so on, Buddhist meditations. Or it could be any other reflection on the quality of love and compassion. And make sure that that's compassion for self, as well as compassion for others. Also, meditate on spiritual things. Now, I'm not going to tell you what shape or form that should take. I'm very passionate about the idea that we should all be free to choose our own spiritual path. And so I'm simply not going to advise you at all, other than to say, do something spiritual. Choose your spiritual path and do a meditation in which you associate with your spirituality. Also, meditate on the body. Now, the best way to do that is with what we call integrated body-mind training techniques. Those are exercises such as Tai Chi, Qigong, and yoga. Anything where you're doing physical exercise and there's that real sense of mindful movement, because that will reconnect you to your body. And finally, do some form of meditation based on the environment. For instance, just open awareness. By the way, all of these meditations you can find on our YouTube channel here. So, to summarize, if you are suffering from dissociation caused by meditation, it is probably because you're doing a very limited meditation practice, probably doing just one form of meditation which happens to be dissociative, and I would bet that it's probably mindful breathing. Continue to do that to dissociate from impurities, but also add other techniques that are associative. And I recommend you do a technique that is based on compassion, a technique that is based on your choice of spirituality, a technique that is about the body, a sort of integrated body-mind training, and finally, a technique about the environment where you're becoming aware of sensory information, such as open awareness, which again, all of these you can find on our YouTube channel. And that is how you can overcome dissociation, empty your jug of impurities, and fill it with purities. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for joining me. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to, why not come and join me for a private meditation session on thedailymeditation.com. Thank you. I'll see you next time.